having a good time playing a game of Rainbow Six.
And playing that with a wonderful crowd here in Berlin as the first round is soon to be underway. Towards the basement we go. Now, if we quickly take a look back at the bans, the smoke has been removed. Kino not going to be allowed to play that operator, so instead the mirror will be coming out. Now, elbow is usually one of those hard points, those strong points that need to be taken care of by the attackers, and of course could be of good use, also banned as a result. So, you know, with that smoke also being gone to counteract each other a little bit, you don't really have to take full control, possibly. Mirror windows will be in place instead. And that's a Twitch to be repicked in by Prime to take care of these mirror windows, take care of these one-way lines of sight.
Xset starting here on their defense. They've obviously got themselves the mirror, the extension round onto elbow as the timer starts to tick. They're going to see if they can try and keep it down. Yoga on the far side, punching early windows and hoping to get a bit of a spray here down. Start the mark, but Spoit's got the pings. The players of Rogue are going to see if they can isolate the Warden.
Oh, what a shot!
Takes the head off the man very cleanly. Over there on small tower, it was a bit of a risk by the Warden, and if he'd gone unchecked, it can be a disaster, but they had Yoga's number.
They found him, took him out, and made sure they found themselves with the entry. Also, drones now coming through. They know where Spirits is going to be. It's only up to Deepak, though. He's alone. Slowly coming around the corner. Crime finds a second. Gomez somehow losing the gunfight to Crime. Just a bit quicker on that trigger. And I think Adrenaline Surge will get him back up to about 70 HP.
Well, Xset, they're pulling themselves quickly back towards the site. They're saying, well, we've got the structure. With 2 bodies down, there's no point in risking it anywhere further out of field when we still have most of the field to tend to. Rogue, all the time in the world now to go for this clear across the board. Very quick early pickup on the 2 loose players, and now they can pay attention towards the site, the hatches itself. There goes the laundry. In just a second, the next will be the follow-up. Obviously, Kaid is an option on the board, but hasn't got himself into this early round. It'll allow a very quick breakthrough on this and make Kino's position kind of uncomfortable.
Twitch drone coming out soon. They need to take care of some of those utility pieces before they do start to push in. Be careful though. There's still players around. They will be watching for the Twitch drone to come through. So a smoke canister they want to deploy first to at least block that line of sight. They cannot instantly take it out. And now on the hunt for the mirror window, this little drone goes. Crime comes around, will find it. No, he doesn't get the shot off. The mirror window will stay closed.
Yeah, Diaz, he sort of knew the game. Spirits, he's trying the idea of pushing Predator onto the hatch, but couldn't quite find the catch there. You can see Rogue there pushing, they're prodding, they're trying to fish for the Xset players. Xset aren't quite handing them too much, and with that mirror window still intact, there's not going to be a straight route down the laundry stairs. 30 seconds, Rogue, and they've got to start trying to put the pressure on towards the site itself with the hatch open. Leon takes the drop right into the box, but it's the pillar swing that's his. Just gets the connection, they retake elbow, but it's Deepak that locks it in. The swing behind the last mirror window. Well, it's not going to come through as clean as it was. Going to try and stick the plant, the C4. It doesn't quite get the full catch on both. Leon's down, they can recollect it, but they don't need to. Rogue take the first round.
Diaz wanted to take the fight there. He knew the time was slowly running out. But Deepak holding down left mouse 1, able to lock it off the angle. And Rogue, they have 1 on the board. Not quite sure what it is currently, but does Rogue have a bit of a discussion? You know, a great first round. Not really anything they stumbled upon here. The first great shot, taking care of small tower, removed a lot of the stress they had. And trying as well finding one onto the rotate back towards the actual site.
So across all of the maps of this series so far, we've obviously seen the... Okay, maybe we can try and run that later, but as I was saying, we've seen the first map, or the first round of every map go the way of Rogue. However, it's always been on the back of a bit of a 3K or a 4K, something kind of big from a single player. It was a Leon swing against the Monty in the first. It was Spoit in the second. Here, this is the most spread that we've had of these early kills. More than 2 players have got them.
Drone on Yoga. They know where he is. He's falling back down. Information will be outdated. There is some pre-fires going through, and aware of the fact that he has fallen back as the MPX fired right through back at the Rogue players. The big tower, though, is what they want to take under control. That needs to be drone now cleared out. As soon as they do, you might see Deepak go all the way up with the grappling hook, with the Gara hook, to find himself some early control, knowing they no longer have to worry about that part of the map.
They haven't quite been able to get an early catch on an Xset player. Xset, they've pulled their cards a lot closer to the chest because, to be fair, if you're looking at when Rogue's push came through, it was quite late. They locked in a couple of the kills, but the kit was cold from the C4 at around the 15 seconds left mark. It's something that Xset can play into. They can sort of try and force that time a little bit further, and as I also pointed out before, the Kaid is on the board, the hatches now. They're going to be a lot more troublesome for Leon to be able to pop his way through. So this, 2 drones ahead of Spoit, right down inside. They're looking for that. The claw caught out. There's one on the hatch itself. The next to the Twitch drone might be able to roll a bit further, but Leon can buy Spoit a little bit of safety.
At least puts up that pressure into that hallway indeed, and that allows Spoit to start moving up a bit, only having to worry about the hallway, potential mirror window in the little side office. Still pre-fires going down left, right, and center. The drones haven't digging through yet. I'm not sure if that hit,
I think
or if that was
did.
Diaz. I think he hit Diaz. Not a Twitch drone left, though. No, mirror window's still closed.
Diaz. You're correct, but as you said, Kryan has the next one, but he's got to go across a bit of tricky territory. There's the drone hole. He wants to take the risk, but he's not going to get further. They knew that it was coming, and at that point, Rogue, they've got to rebuild and restructure. They're not quite going to be able to force them out of laundry the same way. The chain to the hands of Kit. One of you's got to take it. Well, they'll leave it there just for now. See if they can try and swing around, get the control of it. Deepak down onto blue. Took a fight here before. Kryan's there for support, but Spirit sitting around in Shaiko is going to cause more of a problem.
Drones come through. They know one is around in this doorway here. They need to take him out. The first grenade, not far enough. Will find not the injury even. Spoit still lives. They will take the gunfight instead. Kanto wins it out. They shouldn't have lost that one. Kryan aggressive now as well. As Spoit gets grenade kill. Kryan by Flom. It is Gomez. They will find a reply though. At 2 and 4, 30 seconds left. He goes aggressive in the pillar and dies. Leaves it only up to no one. Rogue with a very decisive bottom floor attack are able to find the second round.
Well, the crowd was loud after the first round. Portions of the crowd were on there. But they're not going to see if they can try and, I guess, get stuck in that. We're going to find ourselves pushing on a little bit here. It was this, almost the moment that Spirits could have found. And to be fair, a moment that Spirits probably would have found on the previous Leon round on the backside.
I'm going to be even more specific about that. If Spoit would have been found, that grenade would have been dropped and it would have been a team kill as a result of it as well. It would have been 2 for just a single bullet to come around the corner. So for them to fall back, for Spoit to stay alive and Kanto to instantly reply, really turns that round around. Top floor, we're deciding to not double it back or triple it back. And Xset have chosen different battleground to try and find that reply to Rogue.
I mean, 2 rounds, 2 kills from the side of Xset. It's a wise move to pull themselves away from that position at this point. But what's the point of the next start on a push here? Spoit, he's looking, he's eager. He wants to try and do as much damage on these attack rounds as possible, obviously. Quick clear and clarity underneath. They want to try and do some depth charge fisting with grenades. There is one player around servers, around the swing, just to the right-hand side. Do they have the ping? They have an idea that somebody's in that territory. They're waiting for the full call, and just where they are, make things uncomfortable. Kanto's there to offer some support. There's the exact ping. They're tucked in. This is probably going to burn the gate. Will Spirits get the shot off? Yes. Keeps that gate alive. Means they're going to have to try and force it elsewhere. Maybe with a grenade, maybe with the drone.
It wasn't completely reinforced off though, so there's only that one doorway you can really put pressure on. All for the hatch below, you might be able to get a grenade over the actual top to find him in that position, in that corner. And Spirits just holding tight, wants to make sure no one can jump in that window, but he's super stuck in that position.
The hatch is open underneath Spirits as well. He can take a very risky rotate out if he wants to see if he can find his way around. I'm not sure if Rogue have the call on that, but with grenades, they might be able to cause the reverse problems over the top. Just going to get that taken care of, and they should be able to breach through the corner of this and give themselves the route into Attic. Leon, he's tucked around on the window, getting the clarity with a kit just around the site itself. He wants to keep this a surprise party. The party is putting bullets in a player that rotates out of Trophy's face. The call comes through, and there's the follow-up, there's the hit, and there's the strike. The Azami barricade makes things trickier. There's the swing of the shotgun. It's Kanto that ensures they connect with the kill. They're underneath now. It's not entirely safe. Kino, Diaz, and Leon all took scraps and scrapes throughout the engagement over that window.
2 grenades though in pocket, just 1 left though, and Kanto could try and get that in from below as Crime puts a bit of pressure onto the Attic to support to Deepak. Yoga, of course, playing in the pit. Looking to go aggressive, wants to find a jump in. A grenade coming through towards the kid's bedroom. Is it going to be succeeding? Yes! Makino somehow still lives.
Just hit the side of the bed, and he's going to tuck in with his life as he was almost tucked right into it. Deepak's holding the angle. Gomez and Yoga, and Gomez goes down. Leon has the final to the story he started earlier. Yoga's the next to suffer, but's crying. Takes a lot himself. They pull off the shield, 30 seconds. Kanto right up wide, and Deepak right in the business. Gets 1! Cannot find the second. Swung round Yoga with a huge and important take. They're looking for it. The Azami is the last! 3 in a row for Rogue.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a tactical timeout now to come down. You don't see it, but it is there. 45 seconds to discuss and try and stop the momentum that Rogue is building, because they were 1-7 down on map 1. Then they managed to bring it back on Chile, which isn't their map pick. And now on a map where they know each other, where they've met each other in the groups, it's Rogue again.
Faces on their cams. You compare them with how they were in the first game to how they're flying at the minute. And Chalet was a confidence builder. It was scrappy and it was engaging, and it was almost all the way till the end.
I'm sorry, I started this NA.
Is it an NA airport?
It is NA airport, Chan.
You started this.
I started this.
This is your fault.
I'm sorry, but I'm not really. NA? Thank you.
Xset fans, I know there's not many of you in this crowd, but you got to keep your energy high as well. You're surrounded by Rogue and in the territory of your opponents. It's their home ground, and away games are the toughest.
Bottom floor, they only managed to find 2 kills so far here. Xset, what do you have? What have you up your sleeves to make sure you are able to find a reply? Now, you just had a tactical timeout. You had those 45 seconds. Surely there's something that stood out, something you can change to make sure you find that reply. You send the answer right back to Rogue and find that very first offensive round. Now, the last time these two played, it was only 1 attacking round, 1 by Xset, 3 by Rogue. They're already on that mark, 3 attacking rounds. If they do any more than this currently, they're improving onto their group stage game, which many called a wake-up game for Xset, a warm-up game for the rest of the tournament. So Rogue is definitely on schedule for a repeat of last performance.
Oregon does have a habit of being a little bit back and forth for teams, and Xset could still pull out an even half. Last time they had a tech timeout in the previous game, they lost every round after it until the very end of the round. So they got to hope that they have a little bit more here. 3 rounds, 4 kills. Something has to change. They did obviously try and pull themselves a bit further away from this, the Rogue approach. They have sometimes been in a position of not quite having a second body to trade at on their defenses. It's something where we saw Rogue going for the double push right onto the single player, these single positions. They're not quite something. Xset's been able to have it.
Jaeger's playing with the shotgun here onto the freezer stairs. Spirit's looking to find that early pick. Now needs to be careful, the ADS is temporarily disabled. Frag grenades could be coming around the corner. They have plenty of them on the side of Rogue. 4 in total. But this is the change they want to make. They want to take out one of these players. A bit of a surprise factor. They definitely know now with this first one coming through. Kanto gets picked up. He goes even more aggressive. Takes more damage than he deals though. There's another swing comes through. Spoik just feeds it to him. And so does Cryin. A triple kill from Spirits. And he's looking for more on the freezer stairs.
I mean, that is something that Xset desperately needed. Spirit starting to put some of this pressure in. He got shut down a few times towards the end of the last game after a fantastic first. But here, the triple kill on the stairs with the M870, waiting and taking pretty much every single rogue face that dared to turn its face around. Deepek and Leon, the backline support structure. What can they offer here on the rest of this? A minute to put themselves down towards Laundry, the site that's fallen to their favor twice. Here, that single change and a bit of a focus elsewhere is buying them a little bit more.
I'm calling a meeting.
Ultra bomb going off will be giving away at least some noise. Attackers could hear someone is quite close. Not the case. Leon goes for a pre-fire. He's not going to be able to quite connect. Kino will find Deepek as Spirits will finally die. The shotgun will not find a fourth and will not close out the round, at least not now. As Leon, the last man standing, having to recover that diffuser and find 4 more kills. Onto Xset, it's not going to last. Yoga finds a response, and it means so much to Xset. They stall, they stop the momentum of Rogue, and they put one on the board.
Well, there's the Xset coach doing what you want the coach to do at that point, which is bring some of the fire for the boys. And that's the round that you want if you are an Xset fan, the one right after the timeout to try and drive yourself. They still, as I said, have the chance of bringing this even, putting them on a 3-3 on the turn of the half. But for the first time, I mean, we're starting to see them get their teeth over maybe the past about 7 rounds, including the end of the previous map.
I mean, Spirits in that one little battle onto the freezer stairs had more kills than they did in the previous 2 times they played this site. So definitely the response that they needed, the play that was necessary to get themselves going. And a small oversight from Rogue to challenge a shotgun like that without any flashbangs to blind the man, without any grenades to follow up as well. Maybe a bit overzealous, but small mistakes can be made, especially if you're 3-0 up. You need to make sure to get limited at that spot. There's another shotgun on the board this time around. It's an FO12 on Ella. Kino running it. Going to be playing on some close angles.
Well, it's not the most common. It's not the one that you see the most in this sort of situation, but to be fair, if it's the change of pace that they need, I mean, sometimes when multiple people throw themselves around a corner, Kino can hit the heaviness of that gun that it can offer. And I have a feeling on these speakers it's going to sound pretty impressive unless you're Rogue approaching it. The Army of Spirits, they're causing problems. Just saw, actually, the sliver of a thing, but we're helped by the fact that there's an outline. They're going to see how much time they can waste here. The rotation over the top. They're concerned about somebody going for the swing on it. There's the ping on the player. Spoit wants to take this fight, but they have grenades. They can try and apply the pressure else with. Spirits gets really aggressive, doesn't have the angle. Spoit heads to the top floor. You will just see at the tail end of that rappel, and they don't trust taking this fight, not without a cleaner read, not without a clearer picture. Spirits does suffer. I think that was right from underneath, or from the cross angle even. That drone's calling it all, rolls its way around. Again, all of this time, Spirits didn't probably play this with the expectation of survival, but has taken a minute off the timer.
So waste as much time as possible, and so far doing a good job. Rogue, though, we're starting to call in a bit of a rotate, it seems like, as some of them are moving over towards the dining area. It's going to be the next point of ingress here. Leon heading into the showers corridor. They are looking to take control of the kitchen, try and go for a plant on the backside instead then. Let them have the tower. Let them play out there. It doesn't matter if you want to go for a completely different take.
Leon, he's got himself all the way up to dorms. There's a bit of a rotation. Will he catch it? Ooh, do they know how close he is? It's Leon! He's able to find out the Gon 6 pops, and it's Leon who pops one more. They flooded their way in. Gomez, he's the next to suffer a bit of a scrape on the opposite side. He's going for the retake attempt with the shotgun. There's a swing onto the window itself. They cannot quite find him inside Trophy, but they took that second minute after losing the first.
And they made up for it. More than likely, Cryan finds Kino. Gomez needs to create a rotation as the site, or at least the kitchen, has fallen. Spirits goes aggressive, had a bit of information, but he gets picked up as well. Spoit is going to be able to shut him down. Gomez now in a 1v5. This might be a flawless right after the tactical timeout as they manage to find a response. Spoit! And a flawless round from Rogue. 1v4 in terms of score. And they can do even better than that. There's another round to be gained, and so far, Rogue of their attack have seemed unstoppable.
That was the second for Leon Gids. We talked about him being a bit of the engine of the team, the heart of the region, and now he's in a position where he's able to try and drive them further and further forward. He was a bit quiet in the first 2 maps. He's being as loud as he needs to be on the second Xset. One more chance to see if they can try and put themselves on the wrong end of the 4 versus 2. We have not had that yet, but we have had a 5-1. And I think this very hefty EU crowd remembers that it was not in their favor, but I have a feeling they wouldn't be against it.
Definitely wouldn't be against the Rogue 5-1 to be on the board next here on Oregon. Now, a slight bit of calm right before the storm as the prep phase ends. An Xset defend for one more time unless we do reach overtime. Rogue on the attack. They've only really lost out to 1 round, which was due to the Jaeger shotgun on the freezer staircase. The 3K to come through. You need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Now, Jaeger's not running a shotgun, luckily. Sleepback is rappelling up. They want to take care of Spirits this time, but again, similar kind of barriers around. It's going to be difficult to get rid of that player out there. So what are they going to do about it? Like, are you going to get grenades in from below, maybe?
Well, Kanto, he takes a bit of a scrap. They've offered him some support this time, but Yoga pulls himself away. He's just going to keep himself causing a little bit of a problem and awareness. They want to make sure the Rogue players don't feel truly confident. There's also obviously the swing from the opposite. The top of Armory stairs itself. Spirit loses it. Deepak out of nowhere. Biggie T takes over the top of T3. It's all his. 1 kill. Now Yoga has to pull himself back, get himself down towards Pit as the drones start to roll their way a bit closer.
Using the Gera hook to take control of the tower out there. Leon gets now droning out small. They have big and small under control. Now they need the site. It's on that top floor, but there's still going to be a rover around. On the first, it's Ryan that shuts him down. Gomez not allowed to continue in that round. And again, it's looking very dire for Xset for the remainder of this round. 90 seconds. They need to slow down the pace. Rogue is droning out. They're using everything they have to their advantage. They want to get all information they have.
Diaz, he's inside trophy, and they're going to see if he can be the next one that they mount on the Rogue wall. Pushed over Armory stairs. All of this from Rogue has been so quick. Spoit pre-firing towards the back of the shield, but look at Deepak on the rotate on the opposite side. Kanto's there to offer them something. The shield will get dropped. He needs to lean in, and he does. Now he looks towards the next possible fight, but it's a grenade over the top. Doesn't quite get the full catch. Hits the back of the box. Kino suffers on the side. Forced back. Yoga's going to move back into it. Cannot quite get the full onto Kanto. 50 seconds. Diaz on the double window, waiting for the hop-in, and Kino waiting for Deepak to drift a little bit too wide. He wants to go for a bit of a flat push. The blinds come through. The push behind it, crying. He suffers. There's Deepak! There's Deepak! Biggie T on the back line! We are sitting on 5-1!
What a massive play from Biggie T! Not just... And find the 2K. And Rogue only 2 rounds away from making it to the grand finals.
Xset, they are looking a bit shaky, and there's no 2 ways about it. All of the things we said about Rogue in that first map, the struggles of the connection, the confidence, everything Xset have done so fantastically in that first map, in every single map they played in the tournament before they last met Rogue. And Rogue in Chalet rebuilt the mental, restructured. And I can imagine that the 5 players Rogue has on the board are probably a little bit more relaxed than I know the support staff they have behind, who I've seen fretting throughout this week tournament. But at this point, with the history of the fact that these 2 teams, last time they played, Rogue took 4 of their defenses.
And they only need 2 this time around. It is looking like Rogue have set themselves up for success here, but we have to say it Siege is a game of 2 houses. The first E1D pops. It is often followed up by a bit of aggression, but this time not the case. Rogue not receiving anything just yet, but just a couple of seconds of standing still.
Who is going to be the first engagement? That's the guessing game here from the side of Xset. It's a team that can use multiple. What's the theory? Deepak plus a drone equals death. Well, look at that. There's a C4. There's the catch. It gets him!
The signs are true. Give the man an echo drone and he will find you a way to find those entries. Kino off the board. That's your heart breach. And now, again, Spoit, he took some damage, but so be it. you find an important member of the Xset area. Hatches will stay closed.
Well, look at that. There's another drone. That one should get caught by the grenade. It's a roll and a push back. They might have found themselves still with some safety. Yep, Deepak protected it. So they'll be able to keep utilizing that in that aggressive swing position. But Cryan, hey man, what are you doing? Just chilling out on the top floor? Fair enough. Yoga's not too far away. That could turn into the moment here if we talk about the times that we saw around defined on the previous map by the fact that someone went unchecked. Well, there's another one, Cryan. He's going to open a breach one way and take the motion somewhere else. There's an Echo drone hitting Diaz. Deepak's always watching, always offering the support and sort of saying no entrance. There's Cryan. He looks for the fight and he finds it! Cryan's knocking on the door. Spirits has to try and swing his way down. Gomez is going for the recollection of the kit itself. The sight is down below. They've locked the angle. Spirits is going to move in behind him. He's going to see if he can become a little bit of a surprise factor here, but nobody's offering anything just yet. There's a dance round. There's the reveal. He's concerned that the pillar player might get him, and he's very alone. Gomez is offering something from the side of Laundry. The kit's got its way inside the pop of the Echo drone. The drop from the far end. Spirit's all that's left to keep us off map point, but he's not left long.
Another flawless round from Rogue. And I have to say, the confidence on this squad now is at an all-time high. The fact they just go outside. Deepak is spotting him. Deepak is sending out these pings. You know what? We just exploit. We send Cryan out the front door, and we make sure that we get that kill.
EU. It's been a long time since they've felt that sweet taste of success on a major stage. It's been a long time since they felt themselves in the final. And here, Rogue, they stand just one round away from it, from falling on the wrong end of a 7-1 to sitting on the right of a 6. One more round, Rogue. Xset, the energy you've had, all of the lessons learned, and all of the play that you've got to get you here, and have you pretty much only dropped one map. Now you got to see if you can try and funnel it into one of the biggest comebacks we've ever seen.
Now we've seen them get 7 rounds in a row. It's not impossible for this lineup. However, Rogue are on a different level right now. The confidence that they bring is carrying them across the finish line, or at least really close to it.
I like how we didn't have the Spoit mouse cam.
Yeah, not yet.
But instead, the left-hand keyboard cam.
Important as well. Mechanical skill is both the mouse and the keyboard hand.
It's both the skill. Kino.
I just want to go close around the corner there.
Massively stepped up throughout this tournament up to this point. Oh! And there's Spoit! I talk about his mouse hand, but you got to pay attention to the rest of him. Rebuilds the door and sort of says, no entry, you're barred.
Gets one. And that is going to be a 4v5. An early entry. Gomez off the board. No faking, no nades, no gone 6. An Xset. They might be overwhelmed a little bit with the sound that's coming out right now, but also with the confidence that Rogue is using in every swing. As a wise man once said, swing or be swung. That's exactly the game that Rogue is currently playing.
It's an entirely different team to what we saw on the first map, and it's an entirely different couple of players to what we saw in the second. And unfortunately, from the side of Xset, they're suffering the same thing. Whether it's the heat of the series or the fire of Spoit. Rogue take another body. Just 3 more separate them from a seat in the finals tomorrow versus a Latin American team. Just 3 separate NA from falling out of this tournament in the semi-finals as the 3rd region place. Xset. They're going for the break over the side of Armory. They're going for the pressure. Cryan is underneath. Cryan gets most of Spirits. He's going to tuck himself in. He's not going to follow up, though.
Nitro.
He has no need, because he's got